Welcome back to the Compressor Guru. We're going to finish the Beast today. I'm going to tell the customer I nicknamed this thing the Beast because of the way this week's gone. We are going to put a new belt on it. I'm going to show you the new and the old belt, and I'm going to let you in on a secret. I'm going to give you, at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you a Ingersoll number and what size belt it is. Folks, I don't want to berate Ingersoll. They made me a boatload of money over the years, but they keep certain things secret. One of them is the seal. They won't tell you what seal it is. And I have an aftermarket that does know. The belt doesn't say what size belt it is on it. Now we all have belt measuring tools and we can figure it out. But if you're out in the field and you need to figure it out and you can't put the machine down and pull the belt off and you need to get another belt, you're SOL. And that means sorry, out of luck, lady. But we have the old belt with the old part number for a 2545 compressor Ingersoll. And I'm going to tell you at the end of this episode what size belt the number from Gates is for it. So you don't have to be guessing and going, what size belt should I get? Because the Ingersoll's number is blah, 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 blah. So anyway, we're going to put the belt on. I'm going to show you a unique way we get to do it here in the shop because it's the easy way and I don't need two people to do it. And then we're going to mount the belt guard. We're going to hook up the aftercooler and just tidy up the loose ends. We have to change the check valve. You see on the screen the old check valve, the internal is different from the new check valve, which we're going to pipe thread. The old check valve was an internally flared from the factory and we can't put a pipe thread into it. So we're going to do all that and we're going to say goodbye to the Beast. And here we go. So I already loosened the bolts on this, and I did one other thing because this compressor had set out in the weather for a while. I took some sandpaper and sanded the rust out of the grooves. Both the pulley on the motor and the flywheel on the compressor were both pretty rough. So I sanded those. I didn't take a wet rag and wipe it off, but we didn't want the rust tearing up the new belt. Last week I took some PB Blaster and put on the bolts on the motor so that they weren't difficult to get loose because they're kind of rusty too. And like I said, once they dropped this machine, I picked this machine up in a cow pasture. And I have no idea how long it was there, but it was pretty obvious it had been out in the weather for a while. So I loosened things. Wow, that was easy. This is the new belt. You can see how nice and pretty it is. And great. This is the old belt. Think we ought to change it? And at the end of the episode, I'm going to tell you what that part number converts to. So here we go. Going to throw the new one on. Uh-oh. There we go. And that's actually not bad right there. We're going to tighten that just a whisker. Now you guys in the body shops, you all have these. This is a porta power set. Here's the pump, here's the ram. And the thing that makes this so easy to do in the shop is we're going to put one end against the motor. And we only have to gain a little bit, but we're going to put one end against the motor. One end against the power frame or crankcase. Now, you gotta be real careful because we can actually pump this up so tight that this belt, hear that? A little bit of a sing. This belt, we can actually pull this belt up so tight it'll ruin the bearing in the motor. It could break the belt, and we don't want to do either of those. So we want to have a little bit of give in the belt, but we don't want it loose. I've told you all before, as much as 1/2 of my service calls are for loose belts. So the belt is nicely tensioned, and we're going to take our wrench, we're going to tighten a couple bolts, and we are going to take our port power out of there, and then we're going to put our belt guard on. Belt installed. Wow, was that easy. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put part of the fan guard on, and we did not buy a new one because I priced it out through Ingersoll, because there isn't an aftermarket for that belt guard, and I priced it out through Ingersoll, and we were over $500 for the price of the belt guard. So that being said, I happen to have a used one from a donor machine of a compressor that blew up at another customer's, and I did a little horse trading with them. Ended up with this, but the color doesn't match. But that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the outside two bolts over here also have a keyhole type opening. And that's all it takes to put in place. So we have two other bolts. I'm going to stick them in, and then we'll tighten this all down. Okay, so you can put this on with the belt off, with the belt on, it doesn't matter. But I wanted to do this in what you would consider reverse order from what you would do it in the field, because you could see the porta power pushing against the motor and pushing against the power frame to adjust the belt. I thought it made it easier to see. Oh, there's lots of adjustment there. It's just stuck. So after shifting brackets a little bit, we had to shift this over. You may go, why not just put a zip tie on and tie it to the intercooler and not worry about it? Because like this and every other compressor, there's a lot of vibration to these compressors. And when we hang the aftercooler, we don't want the vibration on the aftercooler and breaking flanges or fittings or pipes on the aftercooler. So these are very important, not only to have them on, but to have them on tight. We're going to do the other side now.
May I ask a question?
You may ask anything you want, baby.
Should we put a nut on the back of this bolt way down here?
Way down where? No, this is threaded. This is a threaded piece of metal.
And you don't need to put it on there with all the vibration.
Nope. That's the way it comes from the factory.
Surprised.
I can put one on if it really bothers you.
Well, when I'm looking, it looks like somebody had one on there before. Looks like there's a little circle around it.
Yeah, it actually does. But see, this is a self-tapping bolt.
Yeah.
And it went through the, yeah.
All right.
By the way, I got another comment from a guy from Florida today. I love the interaction. I love the give and take with you and your wife. I wish my wife had that.
That's because he doesn't really know me. If he had it every day like you do, he wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Drinking too. I'm holding in on this to make sure that we don't have anything touching the belts. That when the belts turn and the wheels turn, that they aren't rubbing the flywheel. And towards the end of this episode, we're also going to do something pretty redneck. A really red-green kind of thing.
Us? Redneck? Come on.
Well, I like to fix things right. Nice and secure. I like to fix things right, but we're going to do a redneck thing too. So as you're looking at this, I've already installed the aftercooler into the belt guard. And we put our piping on approximately where it needs to go. And the other side, yes, I marked it. This is brand new. And the other side goes like that. And you'll see that we have some bolts already installed. This one actually comes out. That was part of the, this one actually comes out. That was part of the old aftercooler on the old belt guard, which did not work for this machine. So anyway, we're going to hang this up here. Okay, you got the camera going? That was easy. So folks, this is pretty much the end of the episode. I'm just going to explain a couple simple things we're going to do. I'll take a couple pictures after we're done, but the camera wife has things to do.
I'm a busy person.
She is. So I'm going to put the new check valve in the tank and tighten it up, of course. We have a 2-foot hose. This is not it. We have a 2-foot hose that we're going to put a union on, and we're going to come over here and we're going to connect it to the discharge part of the compressor. This is a 3/4 pipe thread. I'm going to put a nipple in here, elbow up, elbow over, and I'm going to make it so it connects just like that. You go, that's not a nice straight line. When you have a nice straight line, you have to have everything fitted perfectly. If you engineer a little bit of a curve to a flexible hose, you don't have to be perfect. The other one is going to come up here with a nipple and an elbow, and the elbow will be pointing out this way.
Is that check valve you were putting in?
Yep, that's it. That's the new check valve. Remember, the other one was the one with the inverted flare. We're going to put a nipple here, nipple here, elbow going over, and this is a 3-foot flexible hose, and we're just going to hook it up like that. As a refresher, what this cooler does, it takes the hot air coming off the compressor, goes into the top of this, the air moving from the fan is drawn through here, and this air right here, if we measured it with our thermometer, is going to be 225 degrees. So the air goes through this cooler, the compressor's running, the fan's running, and when the air comes out of the bottom over here, which I'm going to need an adapter too, when the air comes out of the bottom over here and goes to the tank check valve, if we measure it right here, you're going to find out that the temperature is going to be about 5 degrees above the ambient temperature. So if it's 75 degrees out, it's probably going to be 80 degrees. You won't be able to touch this pipe. You can grab hold of this pipe.
Which pipe can't you touch?
This pipe,
Okay,
when
which
it's
one?
running.
And which one can you?
This bottom one, it'll be about 5 degrees above the ambient temperature.
Okay.
And that's all we're going to do. And I will take a few pictures of the final project, but we have to have the camera wife go take care of her mom. Okay, we're going to find the Ingersoll part number. It's on here somewhere. This is Ingersoll Rand part number 951000178. That's 951000178. Now, if you take this and go to your local bearing store, we use Center Bearing here in Phillipsburg. Nice guys, very helpful, lots of stuff on stock. They'll look at that and go, we can't convert that number. So I took them the belt and we measured it. So this is the finished machine with the piping done, going off the discharge side of the compressor to the aftercooler. The new magnetic starter, the air filter, the new line we bent to replace the crushed one, the plug in the crankcase where we replaced the low oil shutdown. We changed the oil, we cleaned the crankcase, we changed the belt. By the way, the belt, that part number I gave you early, is a B84. There's the plug. It's a B84 Gates belt that replaces that Ingersoll part number. So you don't have to go to Ingersoll. You can go to your local parts store and tell them you want a B84. Now, here's our redneck solution. Duct tape. We did that so that the airflow all went across the aftercooler. This was all open on the aftercooler that was in the old machine, but we don't want the airflow missing the cooler. So we duct taped the left side of it off, and the air comes out of the bottom of the aftercooler over to the correct check valve for piping, and there you have it. So we have a few other interesting episodes coming. I'm going to give you a hint at one. We're going to do a check valve episode. Now, you've seen us change check valves, but I'm going to get out a handful of check valves. I'm going to show you the differences between check valves, not just the pipe size, but the difference in the fitting types that there are. There's compression, there's flare, there's inverted. I'm not giving any more away. That'll be in an upcoming episode. We're going to educate you on the different kinds of check valves, what they do, and what to ask for when you order. And naturally, you can order your parts at thecompressorguru.com. I thank you. God bless. Have a great day. Do those internet things like subscribe. Leave a comment. We like hearing from you. Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Compressor Guru. Please hit like and subscribe and use the notify bell so you will know when the next new episode is released from The Compressor Guru. God bless you and have a great day.